Hey, Dr. Fred here, and what morning is it? Tuesday morning, and now I'm going to talk to you about your faith glass. How full is your faith glass? See, this is really our life from the inside out, isn't it? You know, Deepak Chopra in 7 Spiritual Laws of Success talks about object referral. What's object referral? When we identify with things outside us. So we are our bank account, our self-esteem is according to the house we live in, the job we have, and our conditions. And that is a very fragile existence. Why? Because everything changes. How much is in your faith glass? That's an empty faith glass. So what happens? You lose your job, and then all of a sudden your whole self-esteem crashes. I had a buddy of mine lived in Washington. He was a cop, police commander for 28 years, 2 years from retirement, unfairly fired from his job. 22 years. Lost everything. He went through massive depression. Couldn't even have an effective interview for another job because his depression, this was his identity, was his career. How many of us associate with things outside of us? What does that do with our faith glass? So instead, we have self-referral. What's self-referral? That's an inside-out reference point. What's that mean? That means we know we're a spiritual being on a purpose, and what do? We fill up our faith glass, right? That means our faith glass gives us power, it gives us strength, it gives us confidence. But what happens? What happens in life? I remember when I practiced going to a hospital, adjusted a kid 3 times a week. Typical story, athlete, great grades, goes to a party where there's drugs. All of a sudden, yeah, I try this, tries methadone, boom, goes into a coma. What's the parent's faith? He's in a coma for 2 years. I go adjust him 3 times a week. His condition's not changing. Right? All he can do is move his eyes. What happens? What happens in the fires in LA? Thousands of homes are destroyed. How much is in your faith glass? Because the world is going to knock it out. But can you keep replenishing it? Do you have the daily rituals that put more faith when things happen? Man, I can drink off my faith glass and then I fill it up. Because what happens, I'm familiar with this woman in Genius Network, Lisa Sasevich. She got fired from her corporate job, raising 3 young children, husband's an MD, very successful, takes care of all the bills. One day he runs off with a staff member, takes all the money and leaves her. Whoa! Where was her faith? That was a big knock, can barely feed her kids, right? But what if that can't be full? So what does she do? Builds a business today, is worth $30 million. She travels all over the world teaching entrepreneurs. Joel Osteen wants to get the Compact Center. They're so close to getting it. $98 million renovation, right? All of a sudden, the corporation, we don't want a church there. They file a lawsuit, gets a call from his lawyer one day. He's on vacation in Hawaii. And he says, this lawsuit could hang us up for 10 years. Whoa! Did that happen? His wife says, what are you going to do, Joel? He goes, I'm going to go to the beach. And I'm going to sit and enjoy the ocean. That's a full faith glass. Within a very short period of time, that lawsuit disappeared. They moved into the Compact Center, $98 million renovation. I doubt he had $98 million just sitting around in a box in his bedroom somewhere. That's faith. My son, when he was 11 years old, his mom was dying. I sat him down and I said, Chase, you know your mom's dying. And he goes, yeah, in 5 years. And I went, no, in about 2 weeks. And he sat there and he put his head down. He was just contemplating and I was watching him. And he said, Fred, is she going to go be with Jesus? And I said, yes. And then he was contemplating again. And here I am talking, explaining things, thinking of the world. But was his faith glass full? And then he interrupted me and he goes, Fred? And I go, yeah. And he goes, can I go play with my Legos? And I was just blown away that his faith glass wasn't full, it was overflowing. And he peacefully went into his room and played Legos while I sat there with my mouth wide open on the couch. I started in his life when he was 6. He'd never been to church, didn't know God. By the time he was 11, his faith glass was overflowing. God has a reason and a plan. I'm not saying it was easy to get through after his mom passed, but he did have the faith to get through it. Now he's a successful, young 24-year-old. So Chase, I'm proud of you if you see this. So what do we do? The reality is, how do we develop a full faith glass? Well, I'll give you an example today, because every morning, let me put my faith glass down, I put my God glasses on. Right? So I put my hand on the Bible. I'm a Christian. Whatever faith you follow is okay. I'm just telling this example about me. Put my hand, I said, God, please tell me what I'm supposed to do today. I close my eyes, I open it, turns to Psalm 1. What's it say? Delight in the law of the Lord. Meditate day and night. What's that mean? Keep it in front of you. Be like the tree that has the roots in the river. What's that mean? Stay connected. Keep your faith glass full. Right? So it'll bring forth its fruit in its season. So your leaves do not wither. Hey, if you're looking in the mirror, are your leaves withering? Just curious. Right? I don't want my leaves to wither, man. That's not good. That's not good. Right? So whatever you do shall prosper. See, that's faith. He that is in me is greater than he is in the world. That's faith. Philippians, be anxious for nothing. Right? And the peace of God will surpass all understanding. What's that mean? We don't always have to know how. It surpasses all understanding. Right? So that way it guards our heart and our mind. See, it's all right in front of you all the time. So how do you do that? Find a spiritual mentor. Go to a source. Have a video. You know, there's tons of videos. There's tons of books. There's ways. Find a spiritual mentor and follow them. Because every day the world wants to knock it out. And every day we're refilling it. So when the world comes at us, I got a full faith glass. How cool is that? Fill your glass, drink off it every day, be healed, and let's move through this world together and create great things. Love you.